Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about what it's like to get a master's degree in computer engineering. So let's get started. Alright, so I just wanted to give a brief overview on my master's degree in computer engineering. So I'm just going to start off with the fact that I had graduated this spring of 2020 with my master's degree in computer engineering, and prior to that I had graduated with my bachelor's degree in spring of 2019. So I had only taken an extra year of college courses to graduate with my master's degree. And the standard amount of time it usually takes a student to graduate is about 6 years, which is the initial 4 years of getting your undergraduate degree and then the extra 2 years to get your master's degree or your graduate degree. But in this case, my college had offered two different programs. One was called the 3+2 program and the other one was called a 4+1 program. Both of them allowed computer engineering and electrical engineering students to graduate in 5 years instead of the 6 years. With a 3+2 program, you go for 3 years for your undergraduate degree and then you take an additional 2 years to get your master's degree and your MBA. I had done the 4+1 program, and the 4+1 program is where you get your undergraduate degree in 4 years and then you go an additional 1 year to get your graduate degree. I had gone for a computer engineering undergraduate degree with a focus in software engineering, and then for my master's degree, I think I chose computer networks and software design or something of the sort. So those were the two program options that my university offered. And as with any master's degree, we also had to choose if we wanted to do a thesis or if we wanted to just do a course load. I had gone with the course load mainly because the course load was something that I was familiar with. I had already taken 4 years of classes. I was fine with taking more tests and quizzes and whatever it may be than having to research my own topic and then write up a report that's probably 10 or plus pages and then deliver it to a panel of professors where they go and judge it and give you a final score on that. So I had taken the full course load option, and because of that, I think I needed to take a total of 31 credits for my graduate degree. But with this 4+1 program, what's unique about it is that when you enroll in this program, then as a junior, starting from junior year on, as an undergraduate student, you can take graduate level courses that have a focus in both your undergraduate degree as well as your graduate degree. So I was able to take some courses my senior year because I did not enroll until later on, like I think the last semester of my junior year. I was finally actually able to enroll in this program because I didn't know about it and I wasn't expecting to get my master's until my last semester junior year. There are also other courses called dual credit courses where you can take them and they will count not only as your undergraduate degree, but they will also apply to your graduate degree. There is only a range of those dual credit courses, but I did take some of them. And most of them you take junior, senior year, and then senior year you have the option of taking a graduate level course. Once you do that, you would already have maybe 9 to 12 credit hours already under your belt for your master's degree, and then that way you'll be able to graduate with your master's in 1 year instead of the standard 2 years. Now, in terms of the actual classes and the professors were really nice and cool. They were much better than the undergraduate level course professors because they knew that you got your degree, and so they were much more lenient with you. And because of that, at least with me, I was able to turn in assignments late or be able to redo assignments, and they, kind of gave me feedback. And if I were to make those changes, then they'll go and change the grade for me and make the corrections. So that was pretty nice. The courses, if you show that you tried and you are putting in the effort and you show that you're learning the material, you would be able to pass. And so knowing that in the back of my mind, at least, I was able to kind of not worry as much with the tests and the homeworks because I knew that, hey, okay, the professor knows that I already got my bachelor's degree. I don't have to get my master's, but I'm going for it anyway. So they're not going to be super strict and they're not going to just fail me because whatever, unless if I don't try or if I'm really just going out of my way to not do the homeworks or even study for the tests. I will say that even though the professors may be more lenient and are willing to help you, the homeworks are much more difficult because the degree that you're getting is much more specific, and so you need to know much more information about that area that you want to get your degree in. So mine was computer networks. I needed to take computer networks 1 and 2. I needed to really know about networking with the computers and all of the little nitty-gritty details of that, as well as the makeup of a computer, how that works, the CPU, the RAM, and all of that, the build of the computer. So as you go more and more in detail with these classes, the professors make up the homeworks themselves, and they also come up with the tests themselves, and because of that, you can't just look it up on the internet. They're not standard questions, they're not standard exam problems or anything like that. You have to actually learn the material and then apply it to that problem or apply it to the assignments. The only way I think you would have been able to have survived these classes was talking to another classmate or someone else who had already taken this class a previous year with the same professor. But other than that, I mean, you were kind of on your own, and it made it much more difficult than it was before, at least for me, because I didn't really know anyone in these graduate level courses. So I really had to buckle down and either learn it or fail. So I tried and I learned, and I asked the professor. I went to, their hours, the TA's hours as well, and it was very involved. I feel like I was at the university and on campus more often as a graduate student than I was as an undergraduate student. But it was only for 1 year, so it was worth it, and I would much rather do that than, like I said, present in front of a panel of professors and write up my own report and research and all that. I just didn't want to do that. It was not something I was willing to do. I will say, though, that even though I didn't go for the thesis option, I wish I would have, mainly because I had wanted a position at a place where the employer was looking for candidates who had a higher education. So they were looking for those who at least had a master's degree or above, or a bachelor's degree and 4+ years of experience. So they really wanted to see that this candidate, this person who was applying for the job, knew what they were talking about, knew the information, knew how to do reports and research and everything like that, because that's what this company was about. You had to really know what you were doing and explain it as well, which is, part of the thesis statement. That's what they were looking for, and unfortunately I didn't do that. I wish I would have, because it just made everything much more difficult. The interviewing process was longer, and I had to go to a lot more interviews because they were looking for someone who had more skills in a very specific area, and I just wasn't able to show that because I had never done a thesis, and they wanted that thesis. They were looking for someone who showed that they're able to actually do the research on their own and everything. If I would have done the thesis, then I would have been able to have gotten this full-time position maybe not a lot sooner, but it would have been easier to get. So if you decide to get a master's degree and you want to work for a place that really cares about what kind of education you have, I'd suggest doing the thesis option. But if you still don't want to do it, then the only other option I'd suggest is to get an internship as an undergraduate student. Now, this is probably a no-brainer, and I think you should do this no matter what, whether you do the thesis option or not. I think getting an internship is probably the best thing you can do for yourself, especially in companies that look for some type of education level, such as a master's degree, just to consider you as a candidate. And get the internship at the place where you want to work, because you'll have that experience, that exposure, and you show that you obviously work well with others in a group, and then you also can work alone if you need to. And you've been able to show that you've contributed to that company already, and so they're much more likely to hire you. Another thing is the hiring process. It's much easier to hire someone that's internal, someone who's already working at the company, because they've already been established, they've already been assigned, an employee ID, been set up and everything like that for that company, probably have their own space already. Whereas if they were to hire someone that's external, then they would have to go through all of that, and that's just more paperwork, more time, and probably more money maybe. but it would just be a much longer process, and it's just more work for the employer. So they're much more likely to side on someone who is internal already than they are for someone who's external. The main reason I'm telling you guys all of this is because you should get an internship if you're looking for some sort of company who cares about, you know, your level of degree or your level of education. And getting an internship in general if you really know where you want to work and you don't mind working there for the next 20 plus years. If I did not have this internship, then I would not be where I'm at. I really don't think I would have been able to have landed any job at this place where I work. That's one thing that I'm grateful for. I'm glad I took that internship. And yeah, so that's the overview of getting a master's degree as a computer engineering student. Kind of my little overview. I don't know if your guys is, or if you decide to get a master's degree, I don't know if you'll be doing that as well. But yeah, so if you guys found this useful, please let me know. If you want me to go into more detail about something else, also let me know in the comment section down below. If you found this informative, please like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye.